into week 3 here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. Tonight we're going to be going 90 laps here at Martinsville Speedway. As you can see, the track length is 0.79 kilometers, half mile for you American folk. Don't worry, I'll have that updated for next week. I don't know what any of that stuff means either. So, we're heading into week 3. This is the third week now that we've implemented to my knowledge, first of its kind IMSA style pointing with classes within one race. So let me see if I can get the standings up here and I can show you what I mean here. So with the standings, we have 2 divisions. We have the Honor Series up in purple, being led by Justin Brooks currently, and our our Courage Series being led by Steven Overstott. So both of these drivers will be racing in one race, but points will be divided. Bonus points for the winner will be divided. 5 bonus points for each winner of each class. But there is one race, 2 classes here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. So what we're going to do, as the cars are gridding in the background there, we're going to go ahead and look at our grid, see who we have. So we have, I will say we have a couple EOLs tonight. So Mason Johnson setting the fastest lap here in qualifying. Unfortunately, due to a couple incidents last week, he did receive an EOL. So he'll be going to the back to start this race here. But he's a Honor Series driver, so definitely has a skill set to get up through the field and find himself in front of this field at the end of this race. So Mason Johnson, he received an EOL, but he definitely took home the pole award, received that bonus point for getting the pole. On his outside, we have Hunter Harriet racing the Shug Steakhouse, number 81 machine. Nice looking Cadillac made by Justin Brooks Designs. Going back to the second row, we have Connor Knowlton. In the number 2, I do believe Ford, sponsored by Mobile. And as outside, we're going to have Bryant Miller in the 99 machine. SSR School of Sim Racing, I do believe, racing that Mustang. You saw him second place in the current standings for the Honor Division. Going back to the third row, we have Stephen Choate, the number 72 machine. I am a fan of the blue and white with the angles there. It's a nice looking car. And on his outside, we're going to have Dakota Malore and the Harrison's Chevrolet. Throw back to a Josh Perry paint there. Josh Perry. Race for Stuart Haas next year. Good luck to him. Going back further in the field, we have Clayton Dorner in the 14 Kohort Emblem Athletic Toyota. On his side, we're going to have Kyle St. Jean, our season champion last season in our pilot season here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. So finds himself starting in the 8th position. We saw last season that he definitely has what it takes to progress through the field. So I look forward to seeing him battle and try to fight up there with some of those guys leading in the Honor Series. Kyle actually elected to race in the Honor Series despite being below the 2,500 iRating threshold, which is the dividing line for the 2 series. So going back in the field, we have Jacob Alexander driving the 251 Steel Machine. Zachary Wilt in the Jegs Mustang. Trevor Haley on the inside racing the Body Armor Chevrolet. Brian Conover on his outside racing the Drive Main Black 97 Chevrolet. And going back, we have Jeremy Weigel out of Boiling Springs in the personal, what that says. On his outside, we have Nicholas Walthorn in the 54 Monster Ford Mustang. Going back with the brand new paint made by Justin Brooks Designs, Chris Fleming in the Emblem Athletic Chevrolet. On his outside, we're going to have Anthony Monroe in the black and yellow Kiewit Chevrolet. One of a few real-life drivers we have here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. Chase Weir going back a little bit further from Pennsylvania. We have Chase Weir. On his outside, we have Steven Oberstadt racing the number 3 Jordan Chevrolet. Not sure how a Jordan brand and Toyota is going to appreciate that paint. Moving further back, we have Caleb McNeil in the Kellogg's number 98. On his outside, we're going to have Greg Pillar racing out of North Waterboro, Maine in the Traditional Designs Fabricators 90 Chevrolet. Justin Brooks, again, one of those other drivers that had an EOL last week, chose not to qualify, so he already finds himself in the back of the pack. Didn't want to compete for that bonus point for the pole award, but finds himself back here, and perhaps not gridded yet. Nicholas Giampa, not quite ready for the grid, but we're going to go ahead and get this thing going. Like I said, it's going to be 90 laps. There was 3 penalties this week, so Mason Johnson, Justin Brooks have that EOL, and Brody Disher was DQ'd after a series of incidents last week. So he'll be joining us next week in week 5 at USA International, but will not be in the lineup tonight. So that rounds out our lineup. So let's go ahead and get down track side as we look to get this race going. Yeah, we see Mason Johnson here falling back to the back as the cars go by him. Yeah, like I said, we have he's one of the quicker drivers out here. Obviously won the pole. Pretty competitive field we have. But again, we had some restart violations that forced him to have an EOL. And Justin Brooks, our other EOL, had some wanted to show his displeasure with one driver post race. And during the race, multiple retaliatory acts. So EOL for Justin Brooks. But again, these guys have the pace to definitely get back up in the field. So the new leader that's going to bring Hunter Harriet is going to be leading us to the green flag here. 90 laps at Martinsville, week 3 here at the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. So last week we had 14 cautions. It was a caution fest at Lanier, so we're hoping for a longer green flag runs here. Really get the tires into play. When you think about this late model stock tour, really think about tire conservation. But here we go, pace cars in, heading through 3 and 4 into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Green flags in the air. And let's see what we got going here. Oh, it looks like trouble. Oh, it looks like we have a car around early here. So let's go see. Looks like Chris Fleming finds himself turned around. So let's go see what happened with Chris Fleming. Early caution here. Alright, so we see Chris Fleming on the inside row behind that white car. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. We can go into, so this is the rear bumper of Chris Fleming. Looks like he got spun around. So on the restart, yeah, it looks like Chase Weir in the 22 just gets right into the back of Chris Fleming on that restart. Perhaps some people checking up there calls that back up. Chase Weir getting in the back of Chris Fleming here in the early going Martinsville Speedway. So we'll take this opportunity. Let's make sure the AMR safety crew is not needed. Nope, looks like Chris is going to get this thing back facing the right direction, and we're gonna keep moving. AMR safety crew, we don't need you right now. But let's go back up to the front of the field. We'll use this opportunity to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors. Emblem Athletic coming on board, offering Kohort merchandise to the series champions in both the Honor, Courage, and our SK Modifies that run earlier tonight. And 5-6 Graphics also offering up a paint for the champion of the late model stock tour for both the Honor and the Courage series. So I appreciate both of you guys coming on board. Emblem Athletic, 5-6 Graphics, offering your services, providing us an opportunity to provide our winners, our champions, something to race for. It really elevates the league. One thing that I take pride in is going ahead and continue growing the league and giving something back to these guys. I enjoy putting these on, doing the broadcast, organizing everything, through the good and bad. Last week, 14 cautions. There's some penalties that went out, some disagreements with some penalties. You're going to have those things. No one likes getting EOL'd or penalized, points deductions, DQs, right? No one likes to see out any of those things. So we hope for nice green flag runs where we have individuals that will self-impose EOLs, take the EOL for wrongdoing. That way admins don't have to go in and issue all these harsh penalties, especially with the progressive penalty system we have place here in the Kohort late model stock tour. So we have 2 level 1 penalties, being a warning or probation depending on the severity of the incident. And then from there it goes into EOL with a 25-point deduction, and then a DQ. So it's progressive in that if you have a single incident 1 week, maybe a warning, or if it's a little more severe, perhaps probation, multiple incidents, then we're looking into EOL within a given week. So it's, like I said, progressive. So it really behooves the progressive penalty system doesn't apply to people that self-impose penalties. So it really is to the advantage of the individuals that are self-imposing to avoid the subsequent EOL with the point deduction as they're racing for the championship to go after that Emblem Athletic merchandise. I'll put the link down in the for the website down below if any of you guys are interested. Pace car's in. We're going back racing here. Going through 3 and 4 once again. Heading back into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Hunter Harriet leading us. Turn 1 is able to clear Connor Arnold. Connor Arnold is looking on the inside. Definitely can't get there. Hunter Harriet clearing him. Looks like we have 5 single file. First battle we have is back for 7th place between Kyle St. Jean and Jacob Alexander. We have Kyle St. Jean, last year's champion, on the inside. Jacob Alexander, first race here in the Kohort late model stock tour. We really do appreciate the newcomers into the league, as it looks like we're going to have our first green flag lap here at Martinsville. Right on the inside here with Kyle St. Jean, still battling with Jacob on his outside, almost clears him into the entrance, entrance of turn 3. Still side by side. Looks like Jacob's going to clear him on the outside into turn 1. Great battle there early on in this race. Looks we go a little bit further in the back. We have Justin Brooks coming up through the field as he clears on the inside of Anthony Monroe. Like I said, we have Justin Brooks, Mason Johnson, 2 of our Honor Series drivers, EOL, so look forward to them making their way through the field as we see Mason Johnson right on Justin Brooks' heels, looking to get past Anthony Monroe. Checking back in with our leader, still single file, 1 through 4, 4-car breakaway with Dakota Malore, Dakota Malore, just a little bit back, Clayton Dorner, Jacob Alexander. As you see, a little blink in there from Clayton. If that gets too bad during the race, race control will issue a warning. After the warning, EOL, if it continues, we'll have to disconnect anybody with continuous connectivity issues. But as you can see here on the leaderboard on the left-hand side, we have broken down the Honor Series drivers and the Honor Series drivers and the Courage Series drivers into their own leaderboard, so you can see who's leading each division here. Hunter Harriet, Connor Knowlton, Bryant Miller, Kyle St. Jean, Brian Conover, top 5 in the Honor Series. And down on the Courage Series, Stephen Choate, Dakota Malore, Clayton Dorner, Jacob Alexander, and Nicholas Walthorn round out your top 5 in the Courage Series. Let's see if we have a battle here. It looks like we have Brian Conover on the inside of Kyle St. Jean. Now Justin Brooks looking to take advantage of it. Gets his nose just under Brian Conover's. It looks side by side out of the turn. Going in turn 3, let's see how far Justin Brooks sends it in. Sends it, should be able to clear him on X's. Brian gives him plenty of space. Justin Brooks up to 8th position, up 13 spots from the start of the race. We like to see a long green flag run here. I think this is longer than any green flag run we had last week, so we definitely do like seeing these long green flag runs. See, we got a battle here. Yeah, it looks like Clayton Dorner might have got on the outside wall a little bit. Justin Brooks gains another position. As we see, ooh, contact between Kyle St. Jean and Brian Conover. Oh, he's able to keep it together, but contact there between Kyle St. Jean and Brian Conover, but they're able to keep it straight. No caution. As I'm looking at our leaderboard, I realize that we don't have a lap counter, so that's something that's going to have to be addressed for next week. See if we can get something on here that can show us what lap we're on. So I don't know what lap we're on. Nope, that's not going to do it. So it looks like we have a caution on the track. Let's go see as I'm looking around here trying to find. It looks like we have Greg Pillar on the inside here. Let's go see if we can get it. Yeah, we see Greg's around right here. So we see the 82 of Anthony Moreau. Maybe some contact there. Oh, then they all get bunched up after that. But the 82 was, ooh. And then we have Caleb getting into the 90. But at that point, everybody's wrecking. It's kind of hard, especially a tight track like Martinsville, to avoid the cars wrecking ahead of you. Okay, we can back it up a little bit further. So we see the 82 of Anthony Monroe. So let's hop on the back of the 82 of Anthony Monroe. Well, maybe it has help from the inside. Yeah, it looks like the 22 sends it on the inside of the 82. Yeah, it gets the 82 out of shape there. And that's what puts him down there on the would-be grass, but down there on the curb. And then with that car sliding, I think we just have a melee from there. Steven Overstott gets into the back of Chase Weir after he was checking up from the contact. Sends Chase Weir down into the track, which leaves the excuse me leaves nowhere for the 90 of Greg Pillar, Chris Fleming, and others. Nowhere to go. Brings out our second caution of the race. We had a good green flag run there, but is a caution out yet? It was a late caution, but caution's on the track now. Should be. There it is. Caution on the track. So yeah, so we see Chase diving it in there, and that's where you have to understand as that driver looking to overtake the car in front of you, whose corner it is. Just because you have a few inches of your bumper on his inside on the straight, doesn't necessarily mean that the corner is yours, right? So that guy that still has 7/8 of a car still ahead of you, still has a right to take that corner. And sometimes you see that car on the inside just really just dive it in there, and more often than not, it's going to result in contact, um, just like we saw there. But again, we're going to have these incidents. Maybe Chase showing a little displeasure, revving it up. But one thing you can notice here is that if you look at the windshield of the cars, you can see the cohort. So here we're riding along with Steven Oberstadt. So here on Steven Oberstadt's car, you can see the green window and the green spoiler, and it's actually incorrect. So I chose the one guy that perhaps has the wrong color. So we're going to ignore that. Hopefully you guys were skipping over this section of the video and didn't see it. So let's go to Jacob Alexander. All right. Well, looks like that one. Maybe I did it backwards the entire time. Who's purple? All right. So I got the colors backwards when I put on the windows. I did it backwards. So at least it's consistent. So all the Courage Series drivers, depicted on purple on the leaderboard are going to have uh, green on the windshield, and vice versa. The Honor Series guys depicted green on the leaderboard are going to have purple windshields. Faux pas doesn't impact anything, just the aesthetics of the race. I wish I would have picked up on that before I started the recording, but you know what? We can't change what we've already done, and we're already into this race, so we're just going to drive on. So yeah, the colors are backwards from the leaderboard, which also doesn't show the laps. We're getting there. We're getting there. We'll figure it out. Little shocked that the leaderboard, the timing tower, doesn't show the laps. That's something we'll have to look at adding through another overlay at some point. So I can show this, but that's showing laps 74 and 75, so that's not going to be it. Yeah, so we'll figure this out, and we'll continue to improve on this broadcast. We want to make sure that we're doing our partners right, making sure we're broadcasting it effectively. But here we are. We're doubled up. We're going back racing. Hunter Harriet still leading us. Bryant Miller on his outside. Excuse me. Stephen Choate's on his... Okay, Stephen Choate being in third place, but first in the Courage Series. So here we are. Green flag's in the air. Hunter Harriet clears him, takes the outside ahead of Bryant Miller. Gives him a good entry into turn one. Let's ride along with Hunter Harriet for a few laps, see all the steering input. As you can see, using absolute all of the track, getting it down there, putting that left side down there on that curb, accelerating out. It's going to go all the way up to the wall above that final hash mark there, diving it back in. Once again, left side's down there, misses a little bit, but left side's down there on that curb, back up to the wall, and that's how it's done. As we see a battle for second between Bryant Miller and Stephen Choate, punching above his weight class here, battling all these Honor Series drivers for P2, overall P2. And there's that pink Justin Brooks in 33. Justin Brooks Designs Cadillac. Looking to make a move on Stephen Choate. Looks like he's on his inside. Going to get a nose. Does Stephen get momentum on the outside? They're side by side. Heading into turn one. Stephen's going to give him plenty of space and allow Justin Brooks to clear him for P2. So if you look at the overall leaderboard as it covers up my logo, the overall leaderboard here, so you can still see depicted on the colors there. So Hunter Harriet, Justin Brooks 1 and 2, Stephen Choate overall third place, but first in his division. 3-4 Honor Series, and then Dakota and Clayton, Malore and Dorner respectively. Jacob Alexander. So we see a lot of our Courage Series drivers up here battling with the Honor guys here in the top 10. I think we have more Courage Series drivers than Honor Series drivers in the top 10, which, yes, we do have more Courage Series drivers. However, you would think that the pace would be on the side of the Honor Series. But let's go see where our battle is. I think we have a battle back here between Jacob Alexander. Is that Chris Fleming? Oh, Mason Johnson on his inside. So Mason Johnson still making his way through the field. We saw Justin Brooks do it relatively easily. Mason Johnson not getting through traffic as easily as he would have hoped, but he is up to 9th place. So there's another yellow. As we see Kyle St. Jean around in the back. So let's go ahead and take a little rewind and see if we can capture what happened here between Kyle St. Jean and Anthony Monroe. Well, looks like we could go back a little bit further. Let's see. So we got Kyle St. Jean, Anthony Monroe. Everybody's real tight. Maybe the 98. Yeah, it looks like the 98. Caleb McNeil perhaps gets into the back of the 82 of Anthony Monroe. Sure enough, 98, Caleb McNeil gets into the back of Anthony Monroe, sends him around. Kyle St. Jean nowhere to go, gives a colonoscopy to Caleb McNeil. And then we have 22, Chase Weir, nowhere to go once again. And then just melee from there as people are trying to get through traffic. Trevor Haley bouncing off the outside wall. Martinsville, tough track, tight. When there's an wreck, all but impossible to avoid the wreck ahead of you. Yeah, run the risk, you know, checking up, but then you get ran over from behind. So it's definitely a balance of trying to maintain that distance both in front of you and behind you. So it's definitely an art. But again, I'll apologize for having the colors backwards on the cars and the tower. I spent more time than I'd like to admit of adding all of those to each car just to do it all backwards. Hilarious. But that'll be fixed for next week. And next week I'll definitely find a lap counter to put here on the leaderboard. Make sure, because right now we're kind of just shooting in the dark. We're blind together. I genuinely have no idea what lap we're on. No clue. And I don't have anything in my SDK to show me what lap we're on. So, yeah. What is this? If I do lap time, nope, that's not going to do it. Battle box, nope. Time delta. I'm just looking for pitch strategy. Nope. I'm just looking for any overlay here that's going to show me what lap we're on. It's showing me the lap times, but not what lap they're on. Pit lap. So I can do that. So we're on lap 35. So I do know we're on lap 35. But that's not going to be fun to keep track of. That's an impossibility. So once again, we're tightening up this broadcast. Definitely things to improve on. The lap we're on being at the absolute top of the list. But I tell you what, this is a so far good race. We've had two decently long green flag runs. It sounds like somebody's making contact on the outside wall here. Yeah, I think Hunter Harriet might have just made contact. Let's see if we can capture what just happened. Perhaps let's see if we can get on the nose of Hunter Harriet here and see what's going on here. So he's behind the pace car, and then decently hard contact there for Hunter Harriet. So not sure what's going on behind the wheel there. Maybe a little distracted, texting and driving. Don't text and drive, kids. But yeah, little damage, perhaps some incident points for Hunter there under these pace laps. But he's paced the field so far tonight. But we have Justin Brooks on his outside now. Leader does have lane choice coming to the or coming to one to go. So Hunter could elect for the outside, but as traditional lineup, Justin Brooks will be on his outside. Yeah, it looks like he's keeping the inside row. So yeah, Hunter Harriet, Justin Brooks on the front row, and Bryant Miller are top three, all Honor Series guys. Stephen Choate leading that Courage division up on the outside. All right, looks like pace car's going to dip in here. Yes, sir. So here we are entering turn 3, going to be coming out turn 4 as we look to head into our 5-6 graphics restart zone. Hunter Harriet leads us once again to the green flag in that Justin Brooks Designs Cadillac. Great start on the outside, but Justin Brooks able to maintain side by side with Hunter Harriet. We haven't seen that all day. So let's see if Justin Brooks can maintain that battle as he takes a little higher entry. Ooh, perhaps contact there between Hunter Harriet and Justin Brooks. Seems cars are slowing, so another caution as Jeremy Wiggle Waggle, Jeremy Wiggle Waggle. Oh, there it is. All right, so let's go see. So we have Jeremy Waggle on the inside, the red and white. Looks like Mason Johnson slow, and then all right. Let's see if we can go back a little bit further. Let's ride along with Mason Johnson as we see him gets a little sideways. Let's go and get on Mason Johnson's nose here as he gets slow-mo. So we see Mason Johnson getting into the back of Clayton Dorner, sends him up on the curb, upsets Mason Johnson's car. Then he's going to go up on the outside, makes contact with Drive Main, doing the military thing, left, right. And then we have with Jeremy Waggle, nowhere else to go, gets into the back of Mason Johnson. There's our, I believe, third caution flag of the night. So we kind of knew, that was a potential issue that we're going to have with the faster cars and Justin Brooks, Mason Johnson getting EOLs and driving up through the field. But here we are nearing halfway, complete guess, nearing halfway. Oh wait, I can see we're on lap 39. I got it now. We're on lap 39. I'll keep you guys updated. So we're lap 39, and that was the first real incident we've had from the as we're riding along with Jeremy Waggle in the pits. The first real incident we had with some of the faster cars who received those EOLs. So yeah, once again, we'll keep an eye on Mason Johnson because now he's still battling back there. Mid-pack, he's in ninth. So up, approximately 10 positions from the start of the race, so still doing what he needs to do, progressing in the right direction. But he does have our third highest I rating of participants here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. Justin Brooks being the highest IR at a 10.171. And our lowest driver currently Nicholas Giampa at a 940. So a wide range of talent here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour, which is why we've implemented the IMSA point style with the 2 series in one race. So we're averaging, 20 plus drivers through 3 weeks. What that allows is rather than having 2 10-car races, you have a full field, 20 cars out there, and some of the slower guys, right? Maybe they can learn, follow the line from the faster guys. So it's going to be a learning division too, while competitive as any other late model stock tour out there, with some of the drivers we have here. And let's not overlook the fact that we have drivers like Kyle St. Jean, Stephen Choate, that are down below the 2,500 mark. Chris Fleming that can definitely compete, and they have the pace to race some of the honor guys, but just level the bubble, the playing field, level the bubble, so to speak. Implementing 2-point systems, and then the winner of the Courage Series will automatically be bumped up to the Honor Series for that next season. But here we are. Pace cars in, drivers are lined up. Hunter Harriet once again leading us to the green flag in his 81 Cadillac. Huge restart. Looks like restart was delayed. Yes, restart was delayed. Looks like we were having some issues getting lined up. Perhaps some black flags that needed to be cleared and people weren't lined up in the correct positions. So race control decided to extend the caution. Yeah, pace cars comes back out. Yeah, that was bizarre. I was like, holy crap! Like that's a restart. As good as a restart I've ever seen. But Hunter Harriet, here we are, just extended 1 lap. All right, here we are, getting everybody lined back up. Hunter Harriet on the inside, Justin Brooks on his outside, Bryant Miller, the 99, Stephen Choate on his outside. Connor Knowlton rounds out your top 5 here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour at Martinsville Speedway. Green flags in the air, lap 44. So coming to halfway, Hunter Harriet has, to my knowledge, has led every lap of this race so far. As you see a battle back here between Connor Knowlton and Stephen Choate on the outside. Looks like Connor's able to... Ooh, Stephen Choate's going to hang tough. Have momentum on the outside. Let's see if Connor can send it in, clear him on the inside here. Yep, looks like Connor's going to clear him. Corner exit. Tell you what, Martinsville short track, paper clip, definitely makes it tough to get around some guys, but if you pinch them on the outside, you can definitely make some things happen. As we see another battle back here between Clayton Dorner and Nicholas Walthorn. Side by side. Ooh, tires squealing, some contact happening. Nicholas Walthorn is able to get by Clayton Dorner. Yeah, caution. So we heard the squealing. Yeah, so we see Trevor Haley off the pace. Let's go see what's going on here. So we have Trevor Haley in the white and black car. Yeah, it looks like he gets sent around. Looks like the 25 of Mason Johnson. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's hop on the hood of Mason Johnson. Let's see. I think that's where the contact comes in. Let's play it and see. Yeah, so it looks like Mason Johnson sees that hole on the inside. Hole's not quite big enough, and he sends Trevor Haley. See the nice little green Kohort sticker there. Appreciate Trevor rocking the Kohort sticker on his paint there. And Chris Fleming gets by on the inside as they're checking up. But that's going to bring out, presumably, our fourth caution. I can't keep track of this. But lap 46 going to lap 47. And we have another caution. So what we can do now is we can take our opportunity to give a shout out to Mr. Clippy. Let's see. There it is. This is the Mr. Clippy 150. That's the name of the race here at Martinsville. So whoever brings home the trophy is going to bring home a huge paperclip. It's a 3-foot paperclip made of imaginary material, because there is no trophies here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. However, we do have race logos. So if you're interested in naming the next race at USA International Speedway, go ahead and leave a comment below of what you think we should name our next race at USA International Speedway. What do you guys think? Thank you, Mr. Clippy. Hunter checking to see who's driving the pace car. So once again, huge shout out. Couldn't be happier bringing Emblem on board. So they really make fitness attire for military organizations, first responders, fire departments, for unit gear, and 5.6 Graphics offering to make our paints for our champion. So both of these guys coming on board, supporting the cohort. We have 2 series here in the cohort. We run our SK Modifieds with led by Connor Knowlton. That series starts 8 o'clock Sunday nights. The race is 40 to 50 laps. Caution laps don't count. But a lot of the same guys you'll see here tonight raced earlier tonight in the SK series. So if you're interested in racing SK Modifieds, we do have a series for you in the SK Modified division. And then 9 p.m. our late model stock tour session opens up to see Henner going into the pits here. It's going to give up the lead. Go ahead and pit. Perhaps getting tires. We're at the midway point. There was an admin glitch. Surprise, surprise. Where we did have tires. Let's go see if Connor gets tires here in this pit stop. So, yep, it's getting jacked up. So, we have Hunter Harriet's electing to get tires. Not a lot of the drivers have, so perhaps he's thinking that there was some tire wear early on in this race, and this is going to afford him an opportunity to get by some of these guys as we go to the second half of this race. Going into lap 51, so approximately 39, but 40 laps left. So Hunter hoping that the fresh tires are going to put him in the position to win this race. Looks like we're going to start getting doubled up here. Looks like the pace car lights are off, so we're going to be going green here. But yeah, huge shout out, Emblem Athletic. Look them up. The link to our stores in the description below. Super excited. Really appreciative of them coming on board, and 5.6 Graphics. It looks like we extended again. Lights came back on the pace car. So we did have a live race control during this race. Spoiler alert, we are doing this broadcast from the replay file, but we did have a live race control during this race, making sure that everybody was lined up appropriately, black flags were cleared appropriately. So during these cautions, make sure everybody didn't get, uh, you know, a wrongful black flag. That's why some of the cautions are a little bit longer to make sure everything's cleared up as we go back green here. We ran into a few issues last week with black flags, and we didn't have a non-racing admin to help take care of it. It got a little muddy, so that's why we're electing to do the broadcast this way, so we can take care of race control, get some clean racing going for these guys. But here we are, heading into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Justin Brooks, after 100 pits, will lead the race for the first time after receiving an EOL and starting last in this race. Now finds himself at the point with Connor Knowlton coming at his heels, looking to get it as they're door-to-door behind him. Stephen Choate, Bryant Miller, Stephen Choate on the insides, looking to clear, and he does clear Bryant Miller. Bryant Miller's looking at the crossover. Let's see if he can get him back on the inside, and Stephen leaves him room, and sure enough, he does get back on his inside with the crossover, but momentum on the outside is too much for Bryant Miller. Stephen Choate clears him for P3. And further back in the field, looks like we have a battle going on. Ooh. Looks like the battle was maybe a little bit too aggressive. Let's go see. I saw they were close. Now there's some heavy contact here. Kyle St. Jean. Let's see if we can. Oh, so there. Let's rewind here. All right. So look, we have Kyle St. Jean on the inside. Chase Weir. Let's see if we can get a better angle of this. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get a better angle than what we currently got. So let's go right on the nose of Mason Johnson, who's Chris Fleming. Yeah, we're right on the nose of Chris Fleming, who's right behind Kyle St. Jean in the Black Pepper Jack CMP machines with Chris Weir, and then 25 Mason Johnson on the outside. So as we get going play here in slow-mo, we see Kyle St. Jean. Looks like he has momentum, starts coming up the track, and then contacts made between the two. So that just corner exit. It's tough. Now if we go back and look and see what happens. Oh my. Kyle St. Jean going to the moon. Last season champion. Heavy contact there. We have two drivers more or less racing for the same real estate and corner exit. Kyle St. Jean on the outside, not really knowing as Chase Weir drives through him. It's a sim, not a video game. But that was a tough one there. Chase Weir come down, pinch him. We saw Chase Weir involved in an incident earlier tonight. Perhaps two, I think, at the restart. He was involved in the restart incident. So we'll look to see. We'll do a post-race review of anybody that didn't self-impose an EOL and make sure that any warnings, penalties, EOLs, DQs, etc. are handed out appropriately across the board. So that's one thing. We have a cohort council. Consists of, I believe, eight or nine, mostly non-drivers. Off the top of my head, I believe Connor Knowlton, a member of the council. He's our admin for the SK mod, so he's in the council. He votes on some of the replays, but all the other members in this specific race are non-drivers. So there's really no bias or anything. Pretty objective, fact-based review that we'll review, we'll vote, and then me as the admin, I'll take the votes on ties. I'll be the deciding vote to make sure that penalties are given out evenly based off precedent and severity within this given race. So that's one thing we try to do to keep it clean. And the hope is that the progressive penalty system will encourage drivers to, one, race cleaner and avoid having an incident in the first place. But two, if an incident does occur, they will self-impose that penalty to avoid falling into the progressive penalty system where, again, points can be deducted, which is going to hurt their chance at winning the championship merchandise from Emblem Athletic and 5-6 Graphics. So self-imposing those EOLs is definitely in their best interest in the running for the championship. So we're going on lap 58 here. Maybe in the I was thinking maybe in the YouTube video I could break up segments every 10 laps just to help you guys out. so you could see the lap breakdown. I think due to the fact that the laps aren't depicted on the overlay anywhere, maybe I'll take the time to annotate the time breaks for every 10 laps to get a better idea of what lap we're on. But pace car's in. Looks like Justin Brooks once again is going to lead us to the field on the inside. Connor Dalton on his inside. Stephen Choate, Bryant Miller with the white. Who's Dakota Malore in the Josh Berry Harrison Pros. Tire Pros? Yep, Justin Brooks leading the field. Stephen Choate once again proving that just because he's a Curd Series driver doesn't mean he can't contend and race with the Honor Series guys. Obviously, one thing to highlight, iRating, as we see some battles back here between Nicholas Walthorn and Clayton Dorner. But we look at iRating, not everybody does as many officials as other drivers, so naturally an iRating isn't necessarily a true reflection of a driver's skill. So we look at a driver like Stephen Choate, perhaps he doesn't do many officials. Had he done more officials throughout the years he's been on the service, once he's been on the service, perhaps his iRating would be significantly higher than it currently is. Justin Brooks still leading the field. Stephen Choate now cleared for second. Our first side-by-side battles way back in 11th place between Caleb McNeil, Zachary Wilt, Trevor Haley, Anthony Monroe. All throw a blanket on them. It's a tight battle here for that 10th position. As we see Anthony Monroe gets turned around. Let's see if it brings out the caution. It does. So we saw at the top of the screen there, Anthony Monroe gets turned around. So let's see who gets into the back of the 82. Looks like Mason Johnson, perhaps 82 getting a little loose, but Mason Johnson definitely getting to the back of Anthony Monroe there. Sends him around. We'll ride once again. Hop on the nose here. See if we can depict slow-mo. So we see Anthony Monroe he's off the apron a little bit, which allows Mason Johnson to take a better line in and out. He's going to just have more pace. And with that pace, it's definitely going to cause contact with Anthony Monroe. As Martinsville long straight, so you just want to get all that corner momentum, corner exit momentum going. And unfortunately, Anthony Monroe was in Mason Johnson's way. So once again, we'll see self-imposed EOLs if Mason Johnson does impose that EOL and go to the back of the field with that contact. But we're going to hop ahead here, hop back, look at Stephen Oberstadt here. So I caught up with Stephen Oberstadt prior to the game. He's from Mooresville, North Carolina. He's currently a golf pro, so if he's not on the sim, you can find him on a golf course throughout North Carolina. Perhaps Pinehurst. Maybe I'll have to ask if he's ever been what he shot at number 2. Definitely a tough course. But just started iRacing in 2023, so a late bloomer, but already up over a 2K iRating. He joined us from the Only Short Tracks series. So if you're interested in late model stock tours and maybe Sunday nights don't work out for you, Monday night Stephen Oberstadt does run a late model stock tour, Only Short Tracks. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and comment below. I'll make sure you get linked up with Stephen for that series. It runs Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. A later series, make sure all of us, our dads, can have our kids tucked away, wives tucked away, and we can drink beer and race. But Stephen Oberstadt, appreciate you coming in, helping spread the word, building that partnership between the cohort and OST. Yeah, so now we have Bryant Miller back here in fourth place, this 99 SSR machine. They're from Georgia, so drove up a little further north up to Virginia for this Martinsville race. You know, sponsored by School of Sim Racing. Favorite track? Go ahead and guess from Georgia. Got it. Atlanta Motor Speedway. You know, we'll have to link up with them, see if he likes the new configuration or the old configuration better. Uh, for me personally, I'm thinking Hot Atlanta, that old configuration. You know, really put the skill back into the driver. You know, you look at Kevin Harvick and the dominance that he had there for so long. Was able to manage his tires better than everybody else. Different race strategy. You know, had that long run speed, better than anybody else. But yeah, Bryant Miller coming to us from Georgia. He's currently a student, but in the National Guard, so I do appreciate that. Once again, Emblem Athletic is they provide unit gear for military first responders. I say unit gear, organization gear. That's who they cater to. You know, that's really what their mission focus is. So definitely appreciate Bryant Miller. Going through the field, we also have Chris Fleming, who's a first responder, and a couple other military guys that aren't in the race tonight, but definitely appreciate each and every one of them. Um, and anybody listening, watching, you know, that find themselves military first responder. I'm going to extend it to teachers, doctors, nurses, anybody in the healthcare field. You know, I really appreciate Dakota Malore. I'm sorry, I forgot about Dakota. Yeah, Dakota Malore and our Josh Berry paint, another firefighter EMT. So, a few of us in the lineup tonight. Good to see you guys. Appreciate you joining Kohort. As we see, Justin Brooks from the leads decided for the outside lane. The outside lane for the leader. First time we've seen an outside lane choice tonight. So let's see how this works out as Justin Brooks heads into the 5-6 graphics restart zones in the throttle, and he clears Connor handedly into turn one as they battle side by side behind him for third. Stephen Choate once again hanging tough up here in the top five. Hanging tough. Impressive run here as we see Dakota Malore sending it on the inside of drive main, that black number 97. It looks like cars are slowed again. Oh, so 3-car incident here. See Trevor Haley, the 20 of Jeremy Wagle, as Trevor disconnects. So let's go see if we can capture what started this incident. Oh, carnage, big wreck back here. All right, so let's go right on. So we're currently riding on the nose of Mason Johnson, as it looks like. Oh, so it looks like the caution's further ahead, perhaps with. So Jeremy Wiggles there, Trevor Haley, Zachary Wilt. So Nicholas Wawthorne, let's see here. Yep. So we're riding along with Nicholas Wawthorne as he corner exit. Once again, got to get that momentum. And you have Zachary Wilt out of him. Maybe gets a little loose. But it looks like they're still going straight. Nicholas Wawthorne just has that speed. Yeah, and just right hooks him on the straightaway. Yep, sends him, and then we see all the carnage that happens after that. You know, you block these straights, you block the straight, the corner here at Martinsville. There's going to be a pile up. So Jacob Alexander getting in the back of him, sending Zach Wilt, Trevor Haley, not knowing where to go, and that's exactly where he goes. He gets plowed by Anthony Monroe, gets sent to Zach Wilt. Stephen Oberstadt's involved. Caleb doing the only thing you can at this point, checking way up in the Kellogg's car at the top of your screen. And then Chris Fleming getting it straightened out. But Trevor Haley, I think the biggest loser out of that one, not involved in the initial incident, getting collected and ultimately maybe hurting the car. Perhaps he already used a fast repair, elected to disconnect and regroup and look forward to USA International. So let's get this thing going again. We're on lap 72 of 90, so we have 18 laps to go. And goodbye to Trevor. So we'll go through the field real fast. So up front here, Justin Brooks, number 33 Cadillac by Justin Brooks Designs. Good looking paint. Honestly, the purple looks better on the purple car, but he is a green Honor Series driver. Connor Knowlton, once again, I'm a little bothered by me getting the colors backwards. We'll continue. Connor Knowlton, uh, here in the black and yellow mobile machine. Steven Choate still up here, top 5. Courage Series driver, showing these guys that iRating doesn't matter. 2200 IR, up here competing with the best of them. Bryant Miller, the School of, School of Sim Racing, Ford Mustang. Brian Conover, find him on Drive Main, on Discord and or Twitch. One of our real life drivers we have in the lineup tonight. Dakota Malore, he drives the Pro Truck. Brian Conover. Dakota Malore in the Josh Berry Chevrolet. Clayton Dorner. And we talked to Clayton, acknowledged the double stamped trading paints pro versus not, so that should be addressed here in the near future. Jacob Alexander, again, first time here in the cohort, doing a solid job, good looking paint, and that's still, we'll call it a Chevrolet. Mason Johnson still hanging tough here in the top 10, trying to find his way up to the top 5. He did win our race last week, so has the pace, qualified on the pole. He just hasn't been able to get through this field as cleanly as some others. Steven Overstott, just talked about him, only short tracks. Driving the number 3 Jordan Chevrolet. Caleb McNeil in the Kellogg's number 98. Chris Fleming. Call him Lefty. I'll tell you what, maybe I'll talk about why they call him Lefty here in the next broadcast. So come join us for USA International. I'll explain Chris Lefty Fleming's nickname. Maybe we'll have him in the booth and he can explain it himself. Anthony Monroe in the Quit 82 black and yellow machine, Monroe Motorsports. And I think we're doubled up, so let's go back up to Justin Brooks. Nope, a little premature. Let's keep going. Yeah, it looks like some of the drivers are still getting themselves lined up here. Nick Swalthorne saw involved in that last incident. Greg Pillar involved in an incident earlier in the race. Found himself facing the wrong direction. This car's definitely seen better days for Jeremy Wiggle in the Wiggle Waggle in the 20W machine. He's going pretty fast. We green flag? Green flag. Oh, he's getting caught up to the green flag. Well, thanks for getting sped up. Brought us into the green flag at a perfect time. Headed through turns 3 and 4. We're going to be approaching the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Justin Brooks once again electing to go on the outside. Worked for him last time. Does it work for him again? It does as he clears Connor Knowlton. Going into turn 1. Double file for 3rd place. Once again, Steven Choate on the inside of Bryant Miller. Looking to clear him. As you see, Jacob Alexander on the high side back there. Let's go see. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have Steven Overstott on his inside, Anthony Monroe on his inside. If you're on that outside row, if you're not pinching that guy on the inside, you're definitely going to go backwards. It is a short track. You can't afford to give up that much track position. But it's a balance. We saw earlier Chase Weir pinching down Kyle St. Jean resulted in an incident. So it's you got to know the drivers around you and race them as you'd like to be raced to the edge of your abilities. It's being cognizant of all of that. But we'll go back front of the field. Ooh, contact with the outside ball. Connor Knowlton. That's going to cause Steven Choate to get into the back of him. Ooh, they're able to keep it straight. But heavy contact with Connor Knowlton on the outside wall. Again, heavy contact with Connor Knowlton. That's going to let Steven Choate and Bryant Miller both get by him. Caution flags in the air. Let's see where Connor Knowlton, I don't know if both those cars were able to get by him or not. Let's go see if we can see where this incident started. Looks like we have Chris Fleming backwards. So let's see, Greg Pillar. Let's ride on the nose of Greg Pillar, as it looks like he gets into the back of Chris Fleming in that New York Skyline Emblem machine. And then Greg Pillar gives him a nice little tap, like, I'll straighten you back out. Oh, he misses. Goes up on the curb. That's going to bring out, I don't know, call it your 8th caution of the race. I've lost count. We had some long green flag runs early on in this race, but as the race is progressing, I think I say it during every broadcast, the correlation between aggressiveness and laps left, right? So the less laps that are left, the more the aggression rises. So it's definitely a seesaw between those two. And I think it's true here as we come into lap 81. So only 9 laps to go. I know you guys are probably out watching, like annoyed, like what lap are we on? What is going on? Uh, but yeah, we have 9 laps to go. There will be 3 attempts at a green-white checkered if we find ourselves in that situation later on this race. But Justin Brooks leading the field. Stephen Choate now up to second. A Curtis Series driver doing what he needs to do. Bryant Miller's been top 5 all day. Connor Knowlton's been up here. Brian Conover, he's been floating around top 5, but finds himself in that position now. But as we saw earlier, Connor Knowlton hit the wall on 2 consecutive laps there, which allowed Stephen Choate and Bryant Miller to both get by him. Then the caution came out. So what we don't know at this point is if Connor Knowlton has any damage, long-term damage. Looks like he was making contact with that right front. So as you can see through the tower there above his tire, definitely damage going on. It doesn't look like there's a tire rub, fortunately, but definitely contact on consecutive laps for the Connor Knowlton machine. So it's going to be 83 laps at the line. So right now we're going to have 7 to go. Let's see if the pace car lights go out. Lights are still on, so perhaps some cars still repairing damage. Yeah, we see Kyle St. Jean in there. Zachary Wilt, Jeremy Waggle coming, Wiggle Waggle, going into the pits. So race control will shorten the cautions if there's nobody repairing damage, but just make sure that we give everybody an equal opportunity to repair any damage they have throughout this race. We don't want to shorten the cautions because typically you're not going to shorten the cautions later on the race, so we don't want to do it later in the race just because these guys might be able to get back out there. Who knows? Three chance at a green white checkered. There could be a lot of laps left, but looks like nope. Looks like we have one more lap. So let's do our shout out once again. Emblem Athletic. Again, makes unit fitness gear for military first responders. Check them out. Links in the description below. And shout out once again to 5-6 Graphics for coming on board, offering a championship paint to the champion of both Honor and Courage series. Once again, just really appreciate them coming on board, allowing us to give our champions something to take home. But I'll also go ahead and highlight Justin Brooks Designs. There's one Justin Brooks Designs paint. Nope. Nope. Where? Who has a Justin? I know Chris Fleming, Justin Brooks Design. Hunter Harriet, who's disconnected, Justin Brooks Design. So a few Justin Brooks Designs paints here tonight in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. But 5-6 Graphics is our sponsor. Appreciate him coming on board. All right, once again, we have Justin Brooks on the outside. It's worked out for him the last 2 restarts. Let's see if the third time is the charm, I guess. Green flag's in the air. That Cadillac clears Stephen Choate on the inside, dives it in. Contact. Oh my goodness, the aggressiveness is picking up. Contact between Bryant Miller, Stephen Choate. As you see Mason Johnson going around back there. Oh man, you hate to see Mason Johnson worked his way up through the field all night just to, as we see him already spinning there. Let's see who's behind Mason Johnson, perhaps the number 14 of Clayton Dorner. So let's go ahead and get on the nose of Clayton Dorner as we see Mason Johnson clearly getting spun. Let's rewind here. Yeah, so one, shout out to Clayton for rocking the Emblem Athletic logo right here on his hood. Not necessarily a good thing while I'm showing it, but we're right along on the hood of Clayton Dorner's machine, and we're going to see right here through the center, he gives a little tap to Mason Johnson, picks the rear end of the car up, spins it around, and that's going to all but kill Mason Johnson's attempt at a top 5 here tonight as Caleb McNeil spins him around. We see Jeremy Wiggle Waggle, still spinning around back there. Nicholas Walthorne, Greg Pillar at the top of your screen all getting involved as Mason Johnson spins around. Let's go and get this real speed, because now it looks like we're going to be in our first green-white checkered once we get everything sorted out. But Clayton Dorner making contact with Mason Johnson brings out our I don't know, 48th caution of the night. I think we had 12 cautions in this race, so it's somewhere around there. Let's see how our flagman's doing. Holding strong. Yeah, doing great. Tell you what though, he's gonna have some, I don't know, deltoids, some lats, but car's not even there. He's just holding this thing up. Good on him. All right, we'll ride along cockpit. Let's check out gloves. So we have Justin Brooks rocking the blue gloves. Bryant Miller, classic black gloves, the red roll bars. Stephen Choate rocking the Kohort on the inside of the window. Appreciate you. We did offer bonus points for anybody that put the contingencies on their car themselves. So a few drivers did receive bonus points, and then I found out I could put them on myself. Moving forward, there will be no sponsorship bonus, but I do greatly appreciate all the drivers that did go ahead and put it on themselves. Connor Knowlton. Can't see his gloves. Brian Conover. Let's see if he turns the wheel. How's he? Let's see. They have green gloves. Black and blue gloves for Brian Conover. Odd choice. It's a black and green car. I would have lost a bet there. Dakota Malore, black gloves. Oh, there we go. Clayton Dorner, purple gloves. Very nice. Caleb McNeil. Solid red roll cage. Stephen Obersaw with the very clean light blue. Good looking interior there with the orange gloves. Chris Fleming, black and blue. Evan Rowe with the white gloves. Alright. Might get a little dirty. Nicholas Walthorn, green and blue. Good looking gloves. Jacob Alexander. We're on the straight. Let's see. What kind of gloves this man got? Ooh, some orange gloves. Okay. Tell you what, that goes well with this paint. Look at his paint. Look at that. He has a full steel ensemble. Looks pretty good. The Allmart helmet. Alright. Alright. Looks like we're doubled up. We're going to go racing here. Justin Brooks, oh, looks like he's electing to take the inside here for this green-white checkered. We are on lap 91, so this is overtime. I don't have a cool overtime graphic, but this is, without a doubt, overtime. His pace car is in. Justin Brooks, once again, is going to lead us to the field after taking the point after Hunter Harriet had to pit for some damage, or for tires, around lap 50. But Justin Brooks heading into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Bryant Miller on his outside, and here we go, green-white checkered. Do we see the white flag? Will this race be over in our first attempt? Justin Brooks clears Bryant Miller on the inside. Stephen Choate, Bryant Miller make contact. Oh, leaders. Oh, leaders go around. Oh man, you hate to see leaders go around. Looks like Bryant Miller got a little help, got a little loose, battling Stephen Choate, make contact with Bryant Miller, Connor Knowlton. Man, let's go see if we can digest this one. So we're riding along the nose here of Connor Knowlton. So we go slow-mo, so we see slight contact between Stephen Choate, which is going to upset Bryant Miller's car. And then Connor Knowlton just comes, not expecting Bryant Miller to slide up in front of him. That's a racing deal through and through between all these drivers. And then Brian Conover puts the finishing touches on as Stephen Choate, who we saw battle in the top 5 all day. So now we have a few drivers that have been in the top 5 from the beginning of this race. Find themselves Stephen Choate not holding the brakes there and collecting a few more drivers. So that's unfortunate to see additional drivers collected in that incident. But Stephen Choate, Bryant Miller, Connor Knowlton, all involved in the late incident during our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Justin Brooks escaped out of that without any incident as all the action was happening behind him. And we have Connor Knowlton. Let's go through the top 5 of each series here as we head into our second green-white checkered. So we have Justin Brooks leading the honor series in the 33 machine, Connor Knowlton in the deuce, Brian Conover, black and green 97, Dakota Malore in the Josh Berry 46, and Dakota Malore is Curd series. Bryant Miller is in 4th. Then we have to go all the way down to Mason Johnson, who's disconnected from this race, to find our 5th place driver in the honor series. So a lot of our honor series drivers getting caught up in incidents throughout this race and elected to either disconnect or their laps down. But top 5 for our Curd series: Dakota Malore, P1 in the Josh Berry machine. Then we have Clayton Dorner in the doubled up 14. Caleb McNeil, first time here in the Kohort late model stock tour, currently sitting in the final podium position. Stephen Oberstadt in 4th, with Chris Fleming currently 5th in our Curd series, and as we head to our second attempt at our green-white checkered. Now, I'll remind everybody, Justin Brooks did receive an EOL at the beginning of this race. So now that he finds himself in the lead, he is our, without a doubt, Prius Prime mover of the race. Justin Brooks, our Prius Prime mover of the race. Maybe I need to move my graphic down so you can see that, or I'll just take that out. There it is. Prius Prime mover of the race. Justin Brooks up 20 positions from the start of the race. Alright, looks like we're going to get doubled up heading into our second attempt here at a green-white checkered. Here at Martinsville Speedway, Week 3, Season 1, Cohort Late Model Stock Tour. Justin Brooks electing to take the outside of Connor Knowlton. It's worked for him every time he started on the outside. Connor Knowlton, he was able to clear him into turn 1. But this is a green-white checkered. Let's see how aggressive Connor is on this restart. And if he's able to somehow stay below Justin Brooks here on this restart as we head into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. As we drive main, diving on the inside of Connor Knowlton. No. 1, 2, 3, single file. Doubled up for 4th with Bryant Miller and Dakota Malore. Looks like Dakota Malore might get on the outside wall, allow Bryant Miller to clear him for 4th. Then we have Dakota Malore. Oh, and Clayton Dorner sends around. Oh, that is a race over. Caution. Right before the white flag. So we saw the our 2 white cars here. Yeah, it looks like is it Clayton Dorner in the 14 machine. Familiar view here with the Emblem Athletic hood. Once again, unfortunate that we're here for this reason. But Clayton Dorner gets into the back of Dakota Malore, spins him around twice. So he didn't hit him hard enough the first time. So the second effort is enough to spin around Dakota Malore, and take away a top 5 position, actually P1 in the Curd series. So that goes to show you a race within the race. So we had the battle between Justin Brooks and Connor Knowlton in P1. Further back in the field, we see this battle, and that was also for first place within the Courage division. So that shows you that having the dual races within a race, there's multiple battles for the lead, and perhaps that was an example of that. So now we have Clayton Dorner leading the Courage series Um, we did see that he was involved in a couple incidents, so let's see if race control elects to give him an EOL, or if he self-imposes an EOL here, based off the incidents that he was involved in. I guess having the Emblem Athletic hood makes it a little more distinguishable of who was involved in the incident. So typically we're riding along on the nose of your hood during these broadcasts. Typically it's not a good thing. So this will be our third and final attempt at a green-white checkered. As we see Clayton pull down to the inside, so it looks like he will receive an EOL and takes him out of first place in the Courage Series. So you do hate to see an EOL drop somebody out of first place in their respective series, but multiple incidents in one race, race control will administer an EOL live in the race for repeated incidents that aren't self-imposed. And I'm thinking that was the second incident by Clayton Dorner that was not um, was not addressed earlier in the race, which caused him to get an EOL, which puts Chris Fleming now at the point for the Courage Series. We just talked about him last restart that he was in fifth. Now he finds himself at the point for the Courage Series, heading into this third and final green-white checkered. Justin Brooks once again leading us. Connor Knowlton, Brian Conover, and Bryant Miller. Only 4 drivers in the Honor Series on the lead lap here. So 9 drivers on the lead lap in the Courage Series. So we have 13 cars on the lead lap. As we see Justin Brooks perhaps grabbing something to drink. Unusual move by Justin Brooks here, speeding above the pace car. Maybe had to tie his shoe. I don't think that was enough time to go pee. Um, Justin Brooks speeding ahead of the pace car so he can take care of something behind the scenes. Um, no issue there. There's no unfair advantage by doing what just happened. So we're going to be looking to see if we can finish this race under green flag conditions. We're now at lap 103 as we cross the line. So fuel is going to be, luckily it's the last one, so we'll see if fuel becomes an issue on this last restart. Certainly on the edge here of fuel, so we're going to see if anybody does run out of fuel on one of these 2 laps here. As Justin Brooks leads the field, Connor Knowlton is outside. We go back to Chris Fleming on the inside of the 3rd row, leading the Courage Series with Stephen Overstott on his outside in that black Jordan machine. So 2 battles side by side, row 1 and row 3, both battling for first place in their respective division. Justin Brooks takes the green flag in the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Connor Knowlton perhaps spinning the tires a little bit. Let's give Justin Brooks a car length lead out of turn 2. Connor Knowlton by himself there, so let's go back and see. Chris Fleming's able to clear Stephen Choate and Stephen Oberstadt. White flags in the air. Justin Brooks leads the field. Connor Knowlton, drive main. Brian Conover in 3rd. Bryant Miller on his heels. Further back we have Chris Fleming and Stephen Choate. This is the battle to watch. First place in the Courage Series, Stephen Choate, who we saw battling in the top 5 all day. Does he have enough to get a run on Chris Fleming? No. So Chris Fleming, Justin Brooks win their respective divisions here at Martinsville Speedway in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. So what we're going to do, you see Connor congratulating Justin Brooks on the victory. So we have Justin Brooks, Connor Knowlton, Brian Conover, top 3 in the Honor Series. And then we have Justin Brooks, P1, Connor Knowlton, Brian Conover, top 3 in the Honor Series. Then we go Chris Fleming, P1, Stephen Choate, and Nicholas Walthorn, top 3 in the Courage Series. So let's head down to the track as you see Justin Brooks letting the fans see him drive main, doing some shenanigans. But Justin Brooks, your winner here at Martinsville Speedway. So let's go down on track and do some driver interviews. Ryan's coming up in the booth. You got me?
I do.
Tell you what, that race started out pretty clean. We had a lot of cautions in the second half of that race, but you managed to bring it home. P3, talk to me about that race.
Man, it was up and down. I just had to avoid those wrecks, keep my tires clean, and just go forward. I was able to get around those wrecks and I was 5th, maybe 10 laps to go, then I got around somebody, then I got 3rd tonight, so I was pretty happy with that.
It was, like I said, it was rough in the second half. Had to avoid some damage. I know early on you avoided some wrecks. Kept it clean. Any shout-outs?
I'd like to just shout out my parents for giving me this ride, and my sponsor, Verticel Motorsports and VIB Tires and Service.
All right, buddy. Good luck moving forward.
Thank you.
All right, Connor, Kermit up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, boss.
All right, bringing it home. P2 in the Honor Series today. It was a rough going second half of the race. Talk to me how you made it through it.
Just kind of saving my front tires. It was really just about getting a good jump on the restart. We had a little bit of a longer stretch there, and I kind of got a little bit tight, and I tried to downshift, and I missed my timing on it, and shifted down the straightaway. And appreciate Steven for not running me over. But besides that little hiccup, it was really just about keeping it clean, keeping it composed, and keeping it consistent. Really, I don't think I had anything for Justin. It was just making sure I built a gap to people behind me.
Yeah, you finished ahead of 3 other Honor Series drivers. Going to tighten the gap between you and Justin moving forward in the championship here. Any shout-outs?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to JTT Racing, all the boys down there. Steven finishing up a couple spots behind me. He had a little bit of an unfortunate incident towards the end there. I would have liked to have him finish right behind me, but he did well. Shout out JTT.
All right, buddy. Guys. Well, good luck moving forward.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Justin's coming up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you what. We got you an EOL for some extracurriculars last week. Didn't stop you from driving to the front. Did so without making any contact. Well done. Talk to me about that race.
It was a pretty good race. Like I said, I had to start in the back because I decided to show one of the guys my displeasure after he punned me out of the way. Show him what I really thought of him, that he went #1, but got myself in trouble, which is understandable. I mean, I took accountability for my actions, but don't do that, guys. After a race, it don't matter. Don't run into someone. Anyways, on to the night, yeah, I started in the back, and it made it fun, honestly. It was actually pretty fun trying to go from the back to the front, and did a pretty good job of it. I just tried to put myself in the right position every chance I could get and try to get the runs on the guys, and I was. And I didn't really have no problems with like anybody like trying to race me too hard or anything like that. So it made it painlessly, I guess is the word I was looking for, coming through the front. I had to worry about hit me in the door or race, just driving me up the track, crossing me over. Guys are racing a pretty good respect, and I appreciate that. But there's a few cautions, but it's still a pretty fun race. Some of the guys out there.
Yeah, the second half of that race, definitely a lot of cautions. Hopefully we can clean that up moving forward. But you bring it home, P1, going to extend your championship lead ahead of everybody else in the Honor Series. So congratulations. Good luck moving forward.
Yep, thank you.
All right, we got Nicholas Wallthorns coming up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, bringing it home, P3 in the Courage Series. Congratulations. There was a hectic second half of that race. Talk to me about how you managed to finish P3.
Oh, man, I honestly have no idea. I just was trying to stay clean, make my way back through. I ended up getting an end-of-the-line penalty. I spun somebody out with about 20 to go, and I thought it was over, and we just slowly worked our way back up there.
Yeah, I think it was lap 73, got on the back somebody on a straight. He claimed that EUL. We always appreciate that. No additional penalty moving forward with that. But P3, any shout-outs?
Nope, not today.
All right, buddy. Well, great job. Looking forward to seeing you in the next race, and good luck moving forward.
Thanks.
All right, that's Nicholas Walthorn. Now let's bring up our P2 driver for the night. So coming home P2 is Stephen Choate. Kermit, up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. Ready?
Stephen Choate, right? Choate?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. It took me 3 weeks to get it, but I finally did it. Bringing home
good.
P2. It was a rough second half of that race, but you managed to escape some of that trouble, bringing home second in the Courage Series. It looks like you're going to position yourself well in the point standings in the championship. Talk to me about that race.
Well, it was definitely eventful, that is for sure. But I was able to keep it in a good spot for the majority of the race. I did get caught up in a couple of really bad incidents, but was able to run my race and come home, and actually I believe I got 6th in the overall standings. So a top 10, I cannot complain about that. So overall, a pretty good race.
Yeah, I would say there was definitely some carnage out there. I think the majority of the field have used their fast repair, but bringing home P2 is going to be a good points day for you. So good luck moving forward. Do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, gotta shout out the team JTT, and then I also want to shout out the league sponsors, 5-6 Graphics and Emblem. They without them, I don't think we would be doing as well here league wise, but they're helping us out a lot. And my main sponsor on my car, Timeline Concrete. If you ever need any concrete stuff done in South Central Montana, give us a call.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate that. Shout out to our sponsors. Good race. Look forward to seeing you in the future.
Of course, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting us race.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, here we go. We got our winner of the Courage Series here up in the booth. It's Kermit. You got me?
I got you loud and clear.
All right, Chris Lefty Fleming bringing home P1 in the Courage Series. It's a good points day for you. Talk to me about that race.
It was definitely an up and down day. Started in the middle of the field, got caught up real early, lap 1 or 2, and got sent to the back. Couple of pit stops, didn't want to use my fast repair. Was running about mid-pack. I got involved in another stack up about lap 40, 50. Decided to use my fast repair. Probably around like 60 or 70, and ended up getting a set of tires. Definitely involved in quite a few accidents, but a lot of them were clean. A lot of people were talking about it, and it was a lot better than last week. But definitely the best run I've had here yet. Shout out to Justin Brooks Designs for the new car. Got the New York City skyline on the side of it, and looks pretty awesome. But just happy to finally win something.
Yeah, bringing home that P1 for the Courage Series and that new car. You love to see it. And 5th overall, so a great performance by you and the other Courage Series drivers, finishing in the top 10 ahead of some of those Honor Series guys with those higher IRs. Any additional shout-outs you have?
No, just happy to be here in the league. Look to hopefully see it grow and get some good competition in here. Not that we don't have good competition in here, but it's definitely a lot of fun, and I'm just happy to be here and race every Sunday.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations again. Like I said, good points day. Look forward to see you progress in the championship.
Tab 4, thank you. Look forward to next week.
Cheers, buddy. All right, that's going to do it here at Martinsville Speedway for the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. We had a pretty clean first half of the race, and then second half of the race, laps are winding down. I mentioned it before, but there's a correlation between laps left and aggressiveness. So as the laps go down, the aggressiveness goes up, and I think that was on display here today. Some racing incidents, aggressive driving, people are going to make contact. Definitely in these late model stock tour, these cars, it's tough to pass. So contact it's almost necessary at times. You hope you get long green flag run, then that tire degradation. The people that are saving the tires are going to be able to get by them much easier. But how many cautions we had in the second half of the race, you really couldn't see the tire wear come into play. So hopefully here as we progress throughout this season, we have some longer green flag runs, and the driver that's able to conserve that right front better than everybody else will prevail. But that's going to do it here for the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. So I appreciate you guys joining, and we'll see you next week as we head to... What do we head to next week? We head to the... don't know. But we'll see you next week. Appreciate you.